Hi, this is Natalie Rydstrom here from SportsBookReview.com. Bournemouth host Leicester City on Saturday for their first meeting in over a year and a half. Bournemouth scored their first 4 goals of the season last weekend when they visited West Ham, and Leicester, who have been the surprise team so far, kept their no-loss record when they drew to top 5 team Tottenham. BLMR contributor and sports writer Richard Prew joins us now to preview the match. Stay tuned for his top tip at the end. Now, Richard, I think this is a tough match to predict. Bournemouth looked like they found their form last weekend, but Leicester are proving a tough cookie to crack. What are you expecting to see on the pitch come Saturday?
Well, after Bournemouth went to West Ham and won 4-3, I'm tempted to suggest I don't really want to suggest anything, because that was quite an unexpected result. The difficulty here is that Bournemouth scored 4, and you're tempted to suggest that they'll now go back home and more of the same will carry on. But actually one of the features of that game was how poor West Ham were at the back. The Bournemouth striker Callum Wilson scored a hat-trick and could have scored more. And it really was quite a strange performance from West Ham. But in Bournemouth's team, you have a couple of wingers and a striker and a willingness to attack that suggests that there should be goals in most of their games this season. So that's the first place I'd start. Leicester now have 7 points out of 9. And one of the interesting things that I found is that if they have 7 points out of 9, but overall this season in their 3 games, they've had less than 40% possession. Against Tottenham at the weekend, they drew with 35% possession during the game as the home team. And this speaks to the fact that they're very good on the counter-attack and take a lot of their chances. And in Riyad Mahrez, they have a player, the Algerian international, scored 4 goals in 3 games this season and won man of the match in all 3 games. So I think you could see a pattern in this game where Bournemouth are attacking, Leicester are soaking up that pressure and hitting on the break. And I think you would have to say that the likelihood is that there'll be goals in this game.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you there. And Bournemouth are the favourites actually to win at home. I definitely think that their 4-3 win will give them some confidence. Obviously, they were scoreless up until last weekend. Whether I would bet them to win, probably not. Bournemouth are 2.15 William Hill, Leicester 3.5 Coral, and then the draw 3.6 Bet365. If I had to play one of those 3 outcomes, it would probably be maybe Leicester, just because I think they've been more consistent over the new season. Will you play the outrights?
Personally, no. I couldn't have Bournemouth at 2.15. I think that's too low for what is still a promoted side. I suppose of the 2, Leicester at 3.5 would be the more tempting. But I think sub-markets to do with goals are the more attractive one here, and then you're not, relying on one team or another to doing the business in what looks like quite a tricky game.
Yeah, well, the overs price there 1.91 with William Hill, so almost even money there. And then we've got both teams to score, which is 1.69 888 Sport. Do you think we're going to see goals from both sides?
I think we should do, and I think 1.9 or 1.91 for over 2.5 goals is probably my bet here.
Yeah. All right. So you're going to go for the over 2.5.
Yeah, it's a better price. It's a better price than both teams to score. And I think, Leicester with 7 goals in 3 games and good away from home on the counter-attack, they certainly were when they played West Ham. I think they'll score in this game. And I think Bournemouth at home will go for it as well. So let's say overs at 1.91 would be the bet here.
All right, you wouldn't combine it with the both teams to score bet. Bet365 don't have the odds to hand there, but it's actually the bet I played for my bet battle yesterday. I did the over 2.5 goals and both teams to score. I think it's in sort of the 2 range, 2.6, something like that.
Yeah, that's a possibility. If you ask me to combine, then I think, I'd be reasonably happy to say both teams to score and overs, but I would be happy with both or either, really.
All right, wonderful. Richard Prew, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.